Hi there, my name is Rafi, CEO of Genie AI. Recently, I had the opportunity to be on national TV on Sky News talking about my company, Genie AI, and the future of AI, and in particular, the big question of the impact on jobs, on your and my careers. What are we going to do in the future when there's AI everywhere, and so on. And so in this video, I'm going to tackle that big question and really tell you my honest feelings about, first of all, how the Sky News interview went, but secondly, how we can prepare for the next 5 years of AI with some practical tips of how to manage our careers, the impact on jobs, and how to actually stay human in this whirlwind of new technology. So I think the first thing to mention is it was a real honor and great opportunity to be on national TV, and pretty scary too. It's live TV, and I don't know what questions the presenter was going to ask, or didn't know what questions. And yeah, I was really just playing it by ear. And when I first went on the call, it was quite surprising to see my own face on the video in front of me. It's effectively a Zoom call, but on the Zoom call you see live TV playing out. And what I didn't plan for is that I would see my own face talking right back at me as the interview started. So that was a little bit off-putting. But nonetheless, I sort of plowed through. And, we had planned for some of the questions the presenter might have asked. His name was Andrew. But what we didn't expect is that he would ask 2 or 3 times the question of, when there's so much AI and it's all moving so fast, what's going to happen to all of our jobs? We thought he'd ask it maybe once, but he just kept going on that particular point. And I feel I did answer the question authentically in the interview, but with only a few minutes to really explain myself, I wanted to do this further video now and really tell you guys, the audience, my feelings on this topic. And, I'm quite a sort of strange or unique person in terms of my background, because not only did I do my MSc thesis in generative AI 8 years ago, and it was taught in conjunction with Google DeepMind at the time, because they were coming out of the UCL lab at that point, but I also have a degree in philosophy and economics. And on the philosophy side, I specialized in ethics. And I was also a international bonds trader for a couple of years, where I traded bonds and derivatives worth hundreds of millions of pounds with a portfolio of over £1 billion with international banks across the world, the Vatican, and so on. So I'm probably one of the few people to draw together expertise from ethics and philosophy to economics and finance to deep technology, business, and AI. And hopefully that gives me a bit of a 360-degree vision on society, where we are and where we're going. And I'd love to share that with you just now. So what I mentioned in the Sky News interview and what I believe is that there is lots of potential for AI to make the world better for us. When we look at what my company does, our AI assistant can look at 50-page documents, legal documents, trawl through it and find specific issues, errors, risks, and red flags, and call that out to you in a matter of minutes, where normally it would have taken days or weeks. And we do that with reference to case law legislation and in a way that's up to date with the current law. And as humans, the question we have to ask ourselves is, were we ever meant to trawl through 50-page documents and read very specific bits of text and strain our eyes and understand the entire landscape of case law and legislation, which is huge and impossible for any one person to completely memorize? So my argument is that there are many types of work today that we're doing as humans that we probably were never meant to be doing, going through big Excel spreadsheets. And these are great use cases for AI. So AI can really improve our lives in these sorts of areas and make us more efficient. And there's also a great potential to make society fairer. Imagine free access to primary healthcare for all people in the world. Imagine free education for all children in the world. Now, don't get me wrong, some part of education should remain human, but just that access and that normalization of society. In fact, I think those least off in society have the most to gain from AI. And so we have the potential here to have a great equalizer in society, and that's really exciting. On the other hand, there are cases where I think we should stay human and not over-mechanize. And what I believe is, as humans, we are potentially over-mechanizing right now. So, why is it that we are having shorter and shorter attention spans? Why is it that our kids are not able to communicate socially face to face because they're always online? Is it really the right thing that we have machines attached to our bodies to tell us if we're hungry or stressed or if our heart beats a certain rate? Great that we're monitoring our health through all sorts of new means and gathering all sorts of data on our health. But if you can't tell whether you're feeling stressed and you need a machine to tell you that, I don't think that's a good sign. I think that's probably a failure of being human. At the end of the day, it's by design that we have a mind, feelings, and a body. And as humans, I believe that we should do the things that we were meant to do as humans, utilizing the form factor that we were created in. And so this means matters of connection, of emotion, of community, of socialness, of spirituality, of meaning, of purpose. These things I don't think we should outsource to AI. These are matters of being human, and the right use of AI would enable AI to do everything else that we don't want to do, so we can do the things that we do want to do as humans. Creativity is another one, music, art, dance. I think it's actually no surprise that on TikTok, the thing that people are mostly doing are dances and songs, because maybe that's a symptom of actually what we should be doing as society. Being creative, having fun, art, which gives meaning to life. So what I would suggest is that we do use AI as much as possible to create a fair society and automate our work where we probably should never have been doing that work in the first place as humans. But where we shouldn't use AI is in matters of staying human. And in terms of careers, let's go on to some practical tips of what you guys can do in your careers to manage this increasing tide of AI automation. Now, there's different ways to think about it. On the one hand, AI often automates the sort of trivial or high volume or high admin work. And so as humans, we want to get gradually more abstract and more strategic. So that's one way to look at it. Another way is in terms of risk and trust. In our industry, yes, we help legal teams draft and review legal contracts by automating that part of things. But in legal, it's a high risk and high trust industry. You still need lawyers to present the insights to clients, to walk people through difficult and challenging deals, to deliver challenging news, to interpret uncertain possible outcomes. So these are really good cases for staying human, and where I believe we will always still need lawyers. In fact, the number of solicitors in the UK has increased for almost every single year in the last 30 years, with the exception of the financial crisis. And that's not looking to change. So on the one hand, yes, some jobs will be displaced, some jobs will be lost. But on the other hand, many jobs will be created. And in fact, at Genie AI, my company, we've created job roles such as legal engineer, which is a cross between a lawyer and an AI specialist. So whole new job roles are being created. And in fact, we don't even know the job roles that will exist in 10 years' time. They're going to be completely different to what we have now. So we're moving towards a pluralistic society. Just like we have many different types of genders these days, you won't have one job for life anymore. You will have many different jobs. And so that brings me on to my next point, which is my advice to you guys for your careers is to accumulate skills, not experience. Experience becomes redundant very fast in this day and age. As we mentioned, the companies and jobs that are around now won't be the same companies and jobs that are around in 10, 20 years' time. And so the key for us is to gather skills that are transferable, that build us up, that make us a more valuable and useful and interesting person, so that the better we are as a person, the more we'll be able to be useful in all sorts of scenarios as the world changes throughout time. So those are really my 3 tips to manage the rapid change in society through AI, which are: use AI for the work that we don't want to do as humans, that we want to automate, but stay human where we should be human. Those are matters of community, emotion, risk, trust, spirituality, meaning, purpose. And finally, to accumulate skills over experience. I want to end by saying, is it the right direction that we're going in currently in society? When Andrew on Sky News really pressed me on this question about, will AI take over all our jobs? It feels like a bit of an accusation. Am I doing the wrong thing with my company? And as I mentioned, I think we're using AI in the right way and automating the right work and helping humans to stay human where they should be being human. But the real overarching problem here is not one company or the other. Everyone's just trying to make a living, and people are going to do ultimately what helps them survive and make money in this capitalist society. And so what you really need to do if you want to not build endless AI is to change the objective of society from one of GDP growth and productivity to one of happiness and well-being. This is the key point. If you change to happiness and well-being, we will only create as much AI as enables our own happiness and well-being. So it's all about providing the right incentives, goals, and structures to society so that society is built in the way that we want it to be built. Now, clearly that's probably not going to happen, certainly not in the short term, especially because governments are so afraid of international competition from China and India and so on. But really we have to re-examine ourselves as society and move away from a more is better society, from a GDP growth, consistent growth at all costs society, to be more and more efficient, work more efficiently, do more productivity and so on, to one of balance, harmony, cyclicality. This is really the future direction of society that I want to implore upon us, and what I intend to spend my life helping society to do. And currently I'm doing it in the legal sector, and in the future I hope to help society in general in whatever small way I can. But for now, those are my views on AI, and I hope that was useful, and catch you soon.